LevelSCOUT is available in a variety of ranges. There's LevelSCOUT, of course, which is the barometer that sits above the waterline, and then there are the normal LevelSCOUTs. They're available in a 10 metre, 25 metre, 50 and 200. Now, which is best for you? Well, that will depend on the expected fluctuation of the water that you're logging. So typically the 10 metre scout is adequate for most groundwater applications where the fluctuation won't be more than approximately 5 metres. So let's say, for argument's sake, about half the value of the range of the level logger. Now, the reason why that's important is essentially the range indicates the maximum permissible level of water above the sensor. So we don't want the logger to be any deeper. So I'm going to go with a 10 metre scout. We don't want it to be any deeper than 10 metres. But actually, considering there may be a fluctuation, we would be better to hang the logger at about 5 metres below water level. And that way we've got some room for manoeuvre there. Okay, now what happens if the water level increases to beyond the sensor range? Well, the logger will stop recording, but it won't damage the sensor. The sensors are actually capable of pressures of up to 600 meters. If you're doing a pump test where you're emptying a well, you're pumping out the water all the way down to the bottom, let's say, and for this example you can use a 200 meter logger. You could actually drop that water level all the way down to 200 meters and then back up again, and that logger will record that full fluctuation. Now, you can use this 200 meter logger in a situation where the fluctuation is only a few meters. What that means, though, is that you have less accuracy. So the accuracy of these loggers is 0.05% of its full scale. So for a 10 meter logger, you're looking at for a 10 meter logger, you're looking at about plus or minus 5 millimeters. For a 200 meter logger, you're looking about plus or minus 10 centimeters. Now, that's the total accuracy, but the resolution of these loggers is much better. So the resolution is actually 0.00334% of the full scale. So that's sub-millimeter resolution for the 10 meter, but actually for the 200 meter it's still plus or minus a few millimeters. So you can actually still use these. So the total accuracy is really what we're aiming for, if to use a logger that it falls under the best range, but it is possible to see a nice resolution, to see a nice curve being plotted over long distances with a scout from a 200 meter level logger. Now, once again, just for clarity, you could have a 200 meter monitoring well, but the water level only fluctuates maybe plus or minus a couple of meters, so plus or minus 2 meters, for example. Therefore, you can use a 10 meter scout, but you can't place it at the bottom of the well. You'll then need to place it within that 5 meter range of the water level itself. So it will need to be hung there. So just be aware of that. Even if the fluctuation is within the range of a lower range logger, it needs to be placed accordingly and not just dumped at the bottom of the well where it will be over range and will stop recording.